Is not an alien force already among us?
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
From some other species, from another planet.
Welcome to S4.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to S4, the official radio broadcast of Forest Moon Paranormal, with host Eric Cooper and our panel of enlightened minds. Coming to you live from FMP headquarters located in the heart of Skagit Valley, Washington, at the base of the majestic North Cascade Mountains. We will take you through a journey of exploration as we examine every aspect of the metaphysical. From spirits, UFOs, Bigfoot, and conspiracies to grounding, protection, astral travel, and everything in between, leaving you with a better understanding and comprehension of the world around you, and the entities that inhabit it. Join us every Saturday night at Spreaker.com and locally on KSVU 90.1. Don't forget to check out our new webpage at www.s-4radio.com. Now sit back, open your mind, get ready. This is S4.
Good evening or morning, depending on where you are, and welcome to S4, the voice of Forest Moon Paranormal, coming to you live from the FMP headquarters in the heart of the Cascade Mountains in Concrete, Washington. FMP is a highly active emergency response team for all aspects of the paranormal, from aggressive hauntings to alien interaction, Bigfoot and other cryptids, and everything in between that's terrifying. S4 is the voice where we discuss these things in detail. Not only can you find S4 right here on Spreaker, but for our local listeners, also on KSVU 90.1 FM from 10 to 12 p.m. Saturdays with pre-recorded shows. So, tonight, it's the 15th of June. And y'all know what that means. It's Father's Day weekend. So tonight we're doing a special mini roundtable plus a kind of call-in show. So the number you can call in is 360-610-2509. You're going to talk to Brent. Because of technical difficulties, we couldn't get calls added into the actual show. So you're going to call Brent and you're going to tell him what your question is and any comments you've got for the show, and he will relay them. Eventually we will figure this Skype issue out, hopefully. So tonight with us we have Colweg Leitner, our FMP technical analyst and owner of Statement of Sound DJ Services, Chris and Brent Dodge from the FMP Extended Care and the Astral team, Thomas McAllier from our Boots on Ground team, our Keith Andrews, our Alien Race Specialist, and Don Davidson, our California Para Contact. So how are we doing tonight, guys? All right.
Good. Doing great.
Excellent.
How about you?
Oh, I'm here. We had
I
a
like how
great
you led.
we had a great team meeting and got a lot accomplished about fundraisers coming up. And we got to give a real quick shout out to Chile. We have a listener in Chile. I always love seeing new countries pop into our statistics. It's kind of cool.
You do realize that was pronounced chili, eh?
It's spelled Chile, but they like it's actually
Keith, it's not chili, eh?
I was told. So it's kind of like, us Americans call turkey, and it's actually pronounced Turkey. I believe Chile is actually pronounced Chile, or something to that effect.
Gee, that's usually what we say up here anyway.
Oh,
It's chilly, eh?
it is. It is.
And rest assured, if you believe that one, you got a beautiful bridge just now. You're right smack in the middle of the Sahara Desert.
Right. Oh, so for local listeners that might be listening tonight, we are doing bingo, and I'm going to pass it over to Cole. I believe bingo is what, the 28th, right?
Yes, bingo is on the 28th of June at the Salish Grange. Or Samish Grange? Which
Yeah.
one is it, Chris?
Oh, good. So nobody.
Samish.
Yes.
Samish Grange up Highway 9.
Yep.
Yeah, so just off Highway 9 in Cedar-Woolley, just to the north end there. We're going to be starting the bingo calling at 7 o'clock, so get there a little bit early. Doors open
Make
at
sure you
6
get by.
p.m. And we will have everything you need. We'll have daubers for sale. We'll have all your cards. And we'll have snacks on hand. So come on down and join us.
Outstanding. Can't wait. It's our first bingo. And it's to help fund Paracon.
Don't say that too loud. You'll get in trouble.
Oh, okay. I won't say that too
Bingo.
loud. I won't say that too loud. And let's see here. So I wanted to bring up, it's Father's Day, and about 90% of our clients are actually mothers. But you look at TV shows, you look at, a lot of these paranormal teams, and you see a majority of them are male, which tells you a majority of the males are either trying to figure out if the paranormal is real. They usually have it in their head that it is. But when you look at the other flip side of the clients that are experiencing the terrifying side of the paranormal, they're female. What do you guys think about that? Why is this?
Well, because women apparently are a little quicker to pick up the idea that the odd side of things is actually more real than the normal. Men on the whole seem to try and figure out the logistics behind it before they understand the mathematics.
But, it baffles me because, the clients we have will tell you, my husband doesn't believe there's anything going on, and he thinks it's all, in my head. And then you turn on, the paranormal TV, and it's all guys that are running around houses going, oh, show yourself. And it's like, seriously?
I think that would be great if the spirits actually started doing that.
Instead of the director pulling the door open with a string? Yeah, that would be. And then it really baffles me, too, when they actually go into a client's house and something does pop up and they go screaming out the door. But statistically speaking, fathers should be there to protect their families. It's generally how it is. And you would think...
Physical.
Yeah, but you would think if the kids are screaming and won't go in their room, when prior they were just fine, wouldn't you think something's going on?
Well, that'd be good. Yeah, the sad part there is, for me, yeah. Of course, my usual response is I'll go into the room and take a look around and let my little guy know that, there's nothing worse in the house than I am.
Right? What do you think, Don?
I think it's a matter of pride and not showing. It's a kind of almost a toxic masculinity that happens. They don't want to show their fear, so they deny it entirely.
Okay,
They just don't want to. They don't want to face it.
Say this is what you go. So instead of showing your fear, you show this.
Okay.
Doesn't that fall in the same category of going, it won't happen to me?
Yeah.
It could be. What's your thoughts, Cole?
Sorry, I'm just trying to deal with something here. Get back to me, Eric. Sorry.
So
he's trying to do two things at once again.
Gotcha. What about you, Thomas?
Okay, I honestly think that it's a matter of they believe something's going on, but since they can't see it and don't know what it is, they don't believe it's there. So they're just trying to push it off onto their wife, significant other, whatever, that, they're just seeing and hearing things. When in actuality, they're scared.
Maybe. So, yeah. It still baffles me. Because what do they do? And so the other 10%, actually, we do have 10% male that do call or contact us. But I'm going to say out of the 10% of the males that call, it is usually UFO and abduction.
I got an idea.
Yeah, what do you got, Brent?
What if the female, I don't know, hormones or something, or maybe more susceptible to the other off-world, or either spirits or something like that, maybe?
That's possible.
I don't know about hormones, but whatever kind of, maybe the difference in chemical balance between the male and female species. Or, yeah, whatever.
Really?
You know what I mean?
Species, huh? So, sensitivity level could be. I do think males are more prone to the adrenaline side than females are, which could be a part of it.
Most of them, yeah.
And good evening, Samuel. Great seeing you in the show in the chat tonight.
The majority of it, from my standpoint, seems to be the men are so caught up in the logical side, they're looking for an explanation for what it is before they acknowledge it's there. Whereas
Yeah, I agree.
Taught to go with the idea of if it feels right, it is.
And that makes sense, actually. That does. So, being Father's Day, we had Mother's Day last month. Father's Day this month, obviously. And why is it that, like I said, most of our male clients that we get have UFO and alien abduction problems versus spirit?
You broke off there.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah.
You
Why is it that the 10% of our male clients have UFO and abduction problems versus spirit?
Well, again, it comes down to the same thing. With spirit, you've got nothing corporeal to work with. Therefore, don't understand it, therefore I'm not going to report it. The abduction side, you've at least got something that seems physical that you're stuck in the middle of. And therefore, it's got a corporeal component, one that the logical brain can wrap its mind around a little easier.
Okay. Huh. I'm still trying to figure this out. Sorry.
Well, I would say that a lot of it would be to do with the fact that if, like, growing up, space is a huge thing for boys.
Right.
So it's an easier concept for us to get.
Okay. So
whereas the whole ghost thing was always kind of like, when it comes to what we were taught as kids, there are stories. Always.
Oh yeah, and boys are more into the comic books, and the comic books back in the 40s and 50s especially was a lot of alien in space and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that makes sense. Culturally speaking, it's easier to hang your mind on the idea of something else. Amazingly enough, so many people look at it going, on the one side they're going, yes, abductions happen, but aliens don't exist.
So I want to bring up two comments. So Samuel says also depends on the situation of the male as well. Especially in this day and age, males are less likely to be believed than women are. And I don't know if I agree with that point or not. Kayla says, I think it's more of the fact that men are told from a young age that they're supposed to be brave, strong, and spiritual seen as scary, and some men may feel that reporting it makes them seem weak.
And that, I think, is much more the issue. It's not macho to be afraid.
Well, and
I don't care if it's macho or not. If I see one, I'm alien or ghost, I'm going to Eric, and I'm going to be like crapping my pants the whole time. So,
and that it's funny. I guess after a while you're desensitized.
Well, I get a kick out of it with a lot of the UFO, or not the UFO shows, but a lot of the paranormal shows they've got on TV. They show people walking around with cameras and what have you, and of all the things for protection they take with them, they take a gun. Now maybe I'm missing something in the translation here, but I'm thinking that's not going to have as big an effect as they'd like.
Not really. I mean, maybe, just maybe, if they're using rock salt in the shotgun, but they don't take the shotgun, or red brick dust in the shotgun, but again, they don't take a shotgun. They take the 9mm with
that's got such a big kick to it,
right? And I'm sorry, but silver bullets don't work.
So you shoot somebody with a silver bullet, it will make a hole, and it will hurt like a monkey.
It will. And like I said, it kills me because you still see all these people that they love these ghost shows, and they think they're real. So you have Tom, Dick, and Harry that, oh wow, I want to be like Ghost Adventures, and they form this team, and I don't know. I know you guys have seen it too. We see it all the time in FMP, where clients will contact us, and they've actually had other teams come in. And I remember specifically 2 or 3 different clients where the team that went in saw something, and they ran out screaming. Like, really? Why are you doing this if you don't think there's something there?
Do whatever you're going to do, because I'm kind of on a radio show at the moment. You can do whatever you're going to do. I'm kind of on the radio.
Little sideline.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. And here's the deal. We all have kids. We all have, and my kids are still kind of up. They might be asleep by now. But we can't always control the background. And I get that.
Mine are all awake. It's almost summer. They're getting ready.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Don't remind me. So the kids' last day is Tuesday. And then it's going to be fun. But they also know Daddy does radio on Saturday nights, so we stay quiet on Saturday nights.
They missed that message.
Say again?
I said they missed that message.
Oh, no, my kids are quiet. They're busy quietly playing on their tablets, probably, if they're not asleep by now. But getting back to...
Well, you did say you wanted to go around in circles.
Well, no, I get baffled. Because I've had other, teams that came out and they showed me this video. And they said, watch this. So I'm, okay. I'll play along for a minute. And it's a string on a lamp. And it's going back and forth and back and forth. There's nothing around it. And I asked, okay, so is there any kind of heater duct? Any kind of, furnace? Air conditioning? Is a window open? Nope. Okay, then I think you have a spirit. Are you serious? You think it's real? Like, well, probably. Why is that surprising? Isn't that what you do? I mean, really. I guess it's because of the nature of our team. The nature of FMP is we know the paranormal is real because we deal with it daily. And if you're on an evidential team where all you're after is evidence, and true evidence is rare, it really is. It's hard to catch real evidence.
Yeah, you're dealing with circumstantial most of the time.
Right. So yeah, I guess catching something real would be mind-boggling, and
you would? Dang, I missed that lesson. Why don't you guys try to teach that lesson during your training?
Maybe we'll have to add that in there. How to actually have a poker face. Yeah. So Don, what do you think? You're in the middle of California, where a lot of these, well, paranormal TV shows come from. What's your thoughts on it?
On the dude bros that go into houses and try to mess with demons, yeah, those guys are an idiot. They've been debunked so many times. I mean, I'm thinking of Ghost Adventures right now, but Dead Files is stupid. They're created to get views. And I think the last good show was Ghost Hunters, and even then, that was made for TV.
And they are, but my point is, so many don't see it for entertainment. I know people that actually have watched these paranormal TV shows, and that's their education.
You're losing every third word.
Oh, that's not okay. That's just so.
Eric, keep talking. I'm going to check on the thing.
Okay. So no, what's irritating for me is a lot of these people actually think it's real, and that's their education, not the.
Yeah, that didn't work.
What's that? Am I still losing every third word?
I hear you just fine.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
I hear you fine as well.
Keith, turn down your speakers a little bit, and that might help.
Okay. So Samuel's got a good question. Why are we trying to prove ghosts are real? What's the purpose and the outcome of the proof?
That's a good question.
And, I think it comes back to And Kayla said it perfectly. That's $1 million question. I think it comes down to religion for a lot of them, not for all. But when it comes down to it, why do we want to know it? Do we want to prove an afterlife, or do we want to prove heaven or hell? Because that's where you want to. That's actually why you want to know if there's a spirit or not. It would come down to the soul. So I think for some of them, the outcome is saying, "Yep, there's a heaven. Yep, there's a hell." Or, yep, there's reincarnation.
I mean, honestly, even if you do prove that there are ghosts, it doesn't prove that there's a heaven, hell, or even that there's reincarnation. It just proves that there's ghosts.
Exactly.
You know what? There was a good movie that has... who's the guy from that 70s show? Kelso.
Ashton Kutcher?
Yeah. So it has him in it, and it's all about a scientist proved that the afterlife is real.
Are you talking about flatliners?
No. So a scientist proves. It's his father, and he proves that the afterlife is real. Immediately, within 1 week, 3 billion people have killed themselves.
Is it the butterfly effect?
No, it was on Amazon Prime. It's a very cheaply done movie. It's a B movie, but it was a really good movie about this, the after effects of getting this proof out there.
And go ahead, Chris.
I think also, death is very, very hard for a lot of people to deal with. And I think if there's proof of the afterlife or other world or ghosts, and people look for basically family members that actually become the ghosts and try to communicate back with them, it somehow seems to ease their mind. So that's another reason why people are really, geez, are they real? Will they really come back with a message? Will they do this for me? Because it kind of seems to calm the grief a little bit, and they don't miss them as much, if that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense.
Well, it makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
Because the whole thing in the afterlife, really, for me, I'm in a bad way with that one. Of course, in my case, I've got a slightly different outlook on the whole thing. Been there, done that. It becomes kind of a redundancy thing.
So, who in the panel tonight is scared of dying?
I'm excited to, but not ready for it.
Hey, whoa.
Right. Well, no, nobody's ready for it. I mean, if you know what your purpose on this life is, then obviously you're not ready to go now. But are you scared of dying because of what's going to happen on the other side?
I don't think it's as much of a fear of actually going to another side. I think I'm a little nervous on the actual trip there.
Okay.
Well, for what it's worth, it's easy. Living is hard.
I think you're more worried about how you go. Would that be it, Chris?
No, not how I go, but it's like if you're between this world and where you end up, that tunnel in between. Let's just call it a tunnel from one to the other place. Mm-hmm. What's that tunnel ride going to be like?
Exciting.
Exciting.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd
it could be like the best adrenaline rush you ever had.
I think that's probably one reason most military personnel do good in the paranormal if they've been to combat. Would you agree with that, Don?
Yeah, because I think that once you face death, it's easier to see it at the same time. It's kind of like with Harry Potter and those thestrals, that he could see them because he witnessed death, but nobody else could.
Right.
So I think it's kind of like that sort of mentality where we were so close to it, as close as you could be to it, without actually stepping over to the other side.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that you mentioned military personnel, Coop, because in my basic training, we had to go through a mock battle, I guess you could say, where we had all these bullet, noises, bombs going, all this kind of stuff, and we had to get a guy on a stretcher through this maze, if you will, of what seemed like a natural battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually felt quite at home at that. I don't know if there's any opinions on that, on why I would feel at home at that. Maybe past life.
Yeah,
is that a past life?
That'd be because of past life. And yeah, so in basic training, for anyone that doesn't know, what you're describing is you have live rounds going over your head while you're actually low crawling underneath barbed wire. But you were Navy, so it'd be a little bit different. Army, yeah, we had live rounds going probably about 10, 15 feet over our head. You don't stand up. Well, you could stand up and jump. You could probably stand up and jump and you wouldn't be hit, but it's pitch black and you have tracer rounds going over your head while you're crawling through a maze of barbed wire. Do you remember that, Don?
I found that actually really fun.
Now, in medical school, what we did was very realistic simulated combat, and we had to do tank extractions, helicopter extractions, go through, simulation. We had to go over like 6-foot walls with stretchers while grenades are going off around you. Obviously not real, they're flashbangs, but smoke. And so, yeah, it gets you as close to actual combat as it can. Obviously, actual combat is a lot different. But I want to get some comments and questions, too, real quick. So Kayla wants to know, do you think that the tunnel is what religious people would call purgatory? No. Purgatory is kind of like an in-between the living and the dead. Or the living in heaven, living in hell. And some beliefs, they think that's where you go until Jesus comes back, and then everybody goes to wherever they're going to go.
Yeah, they're in for a shock when they get over there.
Say again?
I said they're in for a shock when they get over there.
I would agree. Now, I'm wondering, Keith, if you're getting glitchy because you got the video on.
Well, I would agree with that, except according to mine, I don't have the video on.
Okay. There's two here. There we go.
Ooh, somebody's squealing. I think it's the transition when the soul leaves the body. That, to me, I think is going to be weird.
And
you do remember you asked for trouble, don't you?
No, not me.
You should.
I'm not afraid of death, but I'm afraid of that.
Okay.
No, I don't think I do. No.
Okay, so Samuel's saying...
the transition that bothers me. It's the method of getting the transition that bothers me. I'm allergic to pain.
So Samuel's saying purgatory is described as a place or state of suffering inhabited by the souls of sinners who are expiating their sins before going to heaven. And I've never heard that description or that definition before.
I've heard it before, and it's got a modicum of truth to it. I mean, the thing that people did get right is that you do get to witness your life as, your life does pass before your eyes when you die. What they don't tell you is it passes before your eyes from the experience that the people you dealt with had.
Okay.
So if you've been a real nice person, you get a lot of people patting you on the back, basically giving you hugs, saying, "Hey, welcome over. You know, have a nice, relaxing time." If you've spent your life beating up on people, you feel every one of those impacts at the time of passing.
And then you come back as a weak person, so the bullies can bully you. So yeah, and Samuel said it's from Wiki. Okay, that explains a lot. I don't like Wiki.
What did he ever do to you?
Oh, anybody can post a Wiki. Come on now.
I don't even know where to find a wiki. Never mind how to post it.
And Wikipedia. Go to wikipedia.com.
I would. There's only one little catch there. It's got absolutely nothing to do with the people that died.
Right.
Yeah. Okay,
so Don, do you have a question tonight? Because we are doing a mini roundtable as well.
Not at this time, no. I'll think of one.
Okay. Thomas.
Yeah.
What's your question?
My question is, why does it seem like everybody believes shadow people are evil or bad or however you want to phrase it? Because everyone that I've come in contact with has leaned towards the more negative side, but they've been helpful.
So shadow people, I think it comes a lot from the fear of the unknown, for one. As far as the negative aspect, you won't see shadow people, from our experience anyway, actually causing any kind of physical harm. You have different kinds of shadow people. There you have the shadow entity, which is a type of entity, malevolent or other. And you know, we've talked about this on S4 before, but some shadows are actually spies for magic users. Those ones, however, are only watching. They're only observing. And once you've been able to see them, oftentimes they'll leave because they're not there to be detected. Then, of course, we've got the alien race called the Rogue, which is also shadow, but they're also the ones who wear a top hat or a cloak, or both. And they're not one you want to tangle with. And they're only in California, unless they're migrating, but last I knew they were only in California, off the coast, and off the coast of Italy and Germany. That's where their bases are. Where they're from, I have no idea. But they're a violent race. Maybe you know about them. I don't know, Keith.
Well, I can tell you they're violent. But that being said, you don't actually hear much of it. At least I haven't run into a whole lot of them myself.
So they have an active range. They're only active from, I believe it's January to March. And that's the only time people encounter this race.
I'm going to have to look into that because that's the first time I've heard of an off-world race trapped out in an ancient one. It only operates 3 months out of the year.
Okay, we have somebody with a lot of background noise tonight.
Yeah, that's what I was noticing. It's just all of a sudden I could barely hear everybody because of background noise.
Okay. But anyway, that's most of what we know about the shadows. So Nathan's saying, what if you see shadow figures in lucid dreams, dreams that you're supposed to control?
the thing. Lucid, people have learned how to do lucid dreaming, but the moment you can go into lucid dreaming, the purpose of the dream is completely useless. You get totally wiped out.
Okay, Cole, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out who's got background noise here.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what's going on because I am losing you guys like crazy. I'm getting Keith clear, but I'm losing you, Eric, and I started losing everyone. I tried changing my microphone input, but I don't think it's on. I don't think it's on my end.
Okay. Yeah, the background, whoever's got background noise, it's really loud and it's drowning everything out.
Well, since there's no noise in my house at all right now.
Brent, is it you guys?
Nope. Because I have the dogs, when we're not talking, I have mine on mute, so no background here.
Okay.
Nelly, can you bring that down?
Okay, trying to figure this out. All right, so Chris, you have a question for us.
Oh, I have many. No.
You always do.
I just figured I would go along tonight with the thing that really bothers me the most.
Okay.
And it kind of started with your question or your comment in the beginning, Eric, and that why do these paranormal groups, whether chasing ghosts or aliens, why do they do it without protection? Drives me nuts.
Suicidal?
Ignorant.
So I'm not, yeah. I think until they figure out that there's actually things that can harm them, they don't show it on TV. I think TV is really the... Okay. I think TV really has a lot of pull when it comes to a lot of these groups.
I think TV has a lot to do with it, but I guess it's the fact that FMP is so thorough in its training, and not only are we emergency response, but you're also preventative maintenance training on FMP staff members. So we know what to do, and I think that's my problem. We know what to do. We know what should be done, and the other groups aren't doing it. I don't understand. Are they not thoroughly investigating how to train their staff? Why is this stuff not out there?
Well, the problem is that people on the whole still go by the idea that it won't happen to me, so I don't need to.
Dawn is not talking.
That is true.
I gotta wait for the break. I can't do anything about it for the next 15 minutes.
Okay. So I think really
one problem I can think of is they sit there and they see the TV shows and then create their team and believe that, oh, they don't need the protection because the people in the TV shows didn't have protection.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Exactly my point. Until something happens to them, they're not going to. And so Samuel's saying, well, if you're hunting ghosts, what's a gun going to do? So, no, we're not talking guns. We're not talking physical protection. We're talking psychic protection. If you're not...
I do agree with him.
But if you're not grounding and shielding and you're not using that kind of protection, you're going to get an attachment. You're going to be attacked. Not always, don't get me wrong, but you're more susceptible to being attacked if you just go in open without any kind of protection. Now, we're not talking guns.
I'm just saying, guns won't do anything. Bring grenades.
Well, I don't know. A buddy of mine that was in the
Full
military
out.
used to have a simple saying. He went there. He always said there was no problem on Earth that a well-placed pack of C4 couldn't cure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
I guess I just can't understand the concept of if you want to go investigate and you don't know everything about what you're investigating, wouldn't you try to do and figure out some sort of protection? I just don't understand it.
Well, that's common sense, but that goes back to again. I hate to sound like I'm beating up a dead horse here, but or like a broken record. But if you don't know anything about it and you're getting all your education off Paranormal TV, for example, you're not going to know until you walk in and you come out with an attachment.
Yeah, and the unfortunate part is the old saying, "You don't know what you don't know," is all too real.
Yeah, until you see the lamp string swinging with nothing around it. But
That or until the plate goes flying across the room.
or the knife.
As long as they're not coming at you.
If they're throwing knives, that's not nice.
No, it wasn't.
Just saying.
It's worse when they start throwing bodies.
But no, good question. And you know, I've heard interviews on other paranormal TV or paranormal radio shows where the question was asked, "Do you use protection?" And they'll go, "Protection? What do I need protection from? I don't need protection." And you just shake your head, you know.
And I guess it bothers me more because I am a division of FMP that teaches the protection. So I guess it just bothers me more.
Well, yeah.
I don't know if it bothers me more there, Chris, so much as you're more vocal.
Well, not to mention
Say that again, Keith.
That's part of our training program.
All right. That feedback is really bad.
You know, Matthew Dunnigan asked a question in here that's a little off topic, but I think that I should answer very shortly. What he asked in the Springer chat room, he asked if anybody knows what the other side is like. And the short answer is, yeah, been there, done that. And it is not what you think, and it's certainly not something to fear.
Right. Yep.
You know, the sad part is people when you go into the investigation side, you know, the reality is if you go in there looking for an experience and you don't take protection, you don't learn how to protect yourself first, you're going to have an experience, right? Bear in mind, sometimes that experience is not seeing anything, it's being left wondering.
Right. It's just sad. I think it's just sad. For me, it is.
You gotta understand too, Chris. You're serious about protection too, because you
say that again.
You came to the paranormal learning protection right from the beginning.
Uh-oh. Are you there?
Yeah.
No, he dropped off at your.
Uh-oh.
I'm still here.
Yeah.
We are not having fun tonight.
Yeah, it's just, I just wish more people knew about it.
Okay, we're going to go to break.
But then how do you get it out there?
We're going to go to break, and we're going to see what's going on with this background noise.
Sadly, what I see is common sense. So many people miss altogether, and I'm just kind of looking, how can you miss something that blatant?
Right.
You are listening to S4 on Spreaker.com.
Come get spooked at the 4th Annual Forest Moon Paracon in Cedar Woolley, Washington, Saturday, September 28th. UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot. Speakers include Mike Morin and Jason Jordan, R. Keith Andrews, and Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio, and so much more. And a VIP roundtable. Get early bird tickets now at fmparacon.com.
Well, hello there. Us here at S4 would like to remind you out there that the UFOI Team weekly meetings are broadcast live on Facebook from Denny's, where America eats, each Monday night, 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time at UFOI Team on Facebook. The UFOI Team's gear, product store, and newsletter are located on their website at ufoiteam.com. To contact the UFOI Team with your sightings report or a paranormal story, send an email to theufoiteam@gmail.com. Keep looking up and tell us your story.
Forest Moon Paranormal is a non-for-profit emergency response team that handles all aspects of the paranormal, helping you, your family, friends, and community since 2004. Whether you're having a problem with hauntings, spirits, Bigfoot, other types of cryptids, or UFO activity. Maybe you're just unsure of what's bothering or terrifying you. Or maybe you're just afraid of criticism and disbelief. FMP is here for you. We handle cases globally and locally from our headquarters in Skagit County, Washington. We never accept any form of payment for our services and are 100% confidential. You can find us on Facebook under Forest Moon Paranormal. You can private message us for assistance, or just come join in the discussion and become part of our growing FMP community.
Hello, my name's Cole Wegleitner with Statement of Sound DJ Productions. We do mixing, monitoring, recording, and editing for all your audio needs. For our local listeners in the Skagit area, we are taking bookings for your 2019 events and parties. We have a wide array of music from any genre. Please allow us to help you make these memories last forever. Contact us at 360-999-2830 or on Facebook at www.facebook.com/SOSDJPro. Join us on September 28th at the Cedro Woolley Community Center for 2019 Forest Moon Paranormal Paracon. VIP All Access passes on sale now at fmparacon.com. Your pass includes all-day admission to see the speakers and workshops, the Ghost Walk, a special VIP workshop, a special roundtable with the speakers, a Paracon t-shirt, and an FMP Paracon swag bag. These tickets can be purchased from fmparacon.com. Get yours today.
Hey everyone, Cole here with S4 Paranormal Radio, the official voice of Forest Moon Paranormal. Looking for a way to get the word out there about your business, group, team, or product? Let us help you. A few clicks is all it takes to get started at s-4radio.com, or you can contact me at 360-999-2830.
Welcome back to S4 with your host, Eric Cooper.
And so we can get a caller.
All right, folks, we're back. So if you want to call in, call Brent at 360-610-2509. All right. Hey, Joe. We got Joe in the chat. And he keeps thinking we start at midnight. Come on, Joe. All right. So, Brent, you got a question for us tonight.
I do.
Excellent.
kind of a goofy one, I guess you could say. Taking a good one for later. Here's the thing, and what do y'all think that Bigfoot likes to do for entertainment? Do they play hide and seek themselves, or
Yes.
is that why they're?
Well, the young ones do.
I was about to say play hide and seek, throw rocks at humans.
Yeah. They sit and laugh at the humans.
Yeah. I spotted you, really.
They laugh at humans and take care of little kids that disappear and then give them back.
Well, and, going by some witnesses, they've been seen in lakes. They've been seen fishing, catching fish, things like that. So I'd say...
I watched this one show about people that had Bigfoot sightings, and they came across this, covered little area that I guess it would be like a little campsite, they say, and it was made out of twigs and branches and stuff, and they said it was Bigfoot's little campsite, and there was things in there, like backpacks and hats and things. I wonder if Bigfoot would, if people leave stuff around, does he or she or they collect things? Are they just take things and collect them and try to figure them out? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, the little, fairness, the kids do.
Oh.
They don't, let's be clear. They only take them if people leave them behind. It's not like they go into people's campsites and take them.
Okay. Yeah, so they'll pick up things they see without that people aren't around them anymore. Okay.
And Joe says if they find your stuff, it's theirs.
I wouldn't argue with them.
No, finders keepers. So Nathan has a question.
Even if I walked up and they were taking it, I'd be like, nope, yours.
Right?
You can have it. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So Nathan wants to know, do you know of any reports of Bigfoot fighting something like a bear or cougar? And, that's never been reported, not to my knowledge. Honestly, I think there wouldn't be much, there really wouldn't be any competition, because I think Bigfoot's size and bulk, you're not going to have a bear. You're not going to have any competition with a bear, with Bigfoot.
Well, I was going to say the same thing with the cougar. It's not exactly what I'd call competition.
No.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, have you ever seen a human when they come to a cat and try and pet it when the cat doesn't want to be petted?
Right? Now, you're talking about an 8-foot, 9-foot tall beast that weighs about 600 to 700 pounds against a cat. No. And what's interesting, the last Bigfoot expedition I went on, which it was about last year, it was about August, September. And the mountain we went up, we actually saw a bear cross the road in front of us. And about half a mile away was actually where the Bigfoot sighting had occurred. So it tells you, the Bigfoot and bear were in the same area. But they have a mutual agreement. They have to.
Well, I'm not entirely calling an agreement so much as an understanding.
Well, maybe that's wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the wrong phrase, but I don't see them tangling with each other.
Not on the whole. Unless, of course, you're talking grizzlies, which will fight with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Brent and I were talking about this the other day. We were wondering, do they eat more meat or do they eat more vegetation?
That depends on the day of the week.
Oh. So there's been, so Keith, there's been Bigfoot footprints found, but there's been no Bigfoot caca found.
Right.
Because I assume it would be a big pile.
I would think so.
That depends. Sort of depends on the diet of the animal at the time, amongst a few other metabolic concerns. But essentially correct.
Yeah.
So
maybe some of the bear scab.
I like Joe's comment. There's a hierarchy in the woods, just like there is in high school, and I think that pretty much hits the nail on the head with it.
Yeah. That's also how the Bigfoot keep the bears in check.
Right.
It's amazing how fast the cat or bear will back off with a left hook to the side of the head.
Or if they even get up from it.
Well, yeah.
Well, look at us all saying, "Oh, we wouldn't tangle with him. He could have my backpack. Here you go." Animals aren't dumb. They're going to say, "Oh my God, look at that size of that animal. We're not messing with him."
Right.
My problem was when I did run into them, I didn't run. Of course, I had nowhere to go. I didn't know where I was to start with. So in my case, the little guy that found me, there was no point in running. He had a better shot at finding my way home than I did.
I wonder if the animals don't like the stench of Bigfoot either. Maybe that is some sort of a protection, like skunks have their smelly. Maybe that's some sort of a protection for Bigfoot, and the other animals don't like it.
You should try smelling a wolverine. That's scares
No,
off the wagon in 100 paces.
All right, so I know we have a listener in the chat room that wants to hear about Wendigo. So, Keith, what's your thoughts of the Wendigo?
Well, Wendigo is a spirit manifesting in physical form. But it seems to show up from a protective standpoint. In other words, to protect the area, not the people.
Right. Cole, from the Native American perspective, were you ever taught about the Wendigo? Are you still with us, Cole?
You would seem not.
Yeah. Let me see here.
Well, I gotta give you this for a Father's Day, for right before Father's Day, we are having more technical difficulties than I think we've had in the last month.
Yeah, why would that be? So Wendigo, if I remember right, was a shaman that essentially went bad, correct?
Yes. I wouldn't. It's not so much went bad as got a little bit, shall we say, carried away with the issue of protecting the neighborhood.
And why would that be?
Well, you see enough degradation happen to your home, and it's going to push you over the edge on occasion. Like the show, I think it was about 20 years ago, that was called Postal.
Okay.
Well, Wendigo seems to be a shaman that quite literally was, or if you will, went postal. Got fed up with the whole thing and decided to retaliate.
So there he is. So Nathan wants to know, and it was Nathan that was curious about Wendigos here about a week ago. Is a Wendigo and a Skinwalker, are they different? Yes, they are. If I remember right, the Skinwalker is the one that actually was a cannibal before the passed, correct, Keith?
Essentially correct, yes.
Yeah. So, yeah.
See, with a Skinwalker, the cannibalism is a requirement.
Right.
Or more to the point, the Skinwalker desires the food. The Wendigo requires it.
And, I think about the TV show Supernatural had a Skinwalker. I believe it was episode 1 or 2 of the first season, and that was pretty accurate. Pretty accurate depiction of a Skinwalker.
Well, Supernatural did a good job on a lot of their research.
Yeah, it's impressive. But the thing with Supernatural is they kind of went south really quick after the third season when they started dying and coming back, and dying and coming back, and
yeah, it's so overrated, right?
After a while, you just quit. Stop making shows.
So that's why I keep telling them every time they send me back. It's like, would you just knock it off?
So yeah, they are two different entities essentially, not one and the same. And Joe says, I think the Wendigo turn and that's it. Skinwalkers, I think, can go back and forth.
Yeah, the old saying, once a Wendigo, always a Wendigo, is very accurate.
Yeah. And yeah, Samuel says X-Files. X-Files did an episode as well, but watch Supernatural. They do a lot more research. X-Files does too, but I like the X-Files side of UFO and alien more than I do the other stuff. Speaking of UFOs, so what do you guys think about the Navy coming out and actually talking about UFOs and taking UFO reports? Do you think it's just a mock? Or do you think they're actually taking it serious?
Well, I wouldn't be holding my breath on them taking it seriously, or just doing the research.
No, and I agree. I would agree with that. It reminds me of Blue Book with the Air Force. The Navy's, 60 years later, decided to come on board. And
Did you guys watch that Project Blue Book series?
Yeah, but I wasn't impressed. It wasn't meant to be a documentary, and I get that. But when they started throwing in that Russian spy woman, it just kind of threw it all out. It really did. When it came to Hynek was a lot more of a skeptic than what they showed him as in the series. So while it was supposed to portray, and it did portray kind of real case files, but again, with the Betty and Barney Hill case that they were trying to portray, they never took out an implant out of his neck in the real case. So they did throw a lot of BS in there that really kind of threw the whole series out. I'm not even going to watch the second season.
Oh, there's going to be a second one?
Yeah. They're coming back with a second season that I'm not going to waste my time on. I'm more excited about Stranger Things coming back next month than I am Project Blue Book. Now, what's cool about Stranger Things is I see a similarity with Stranger Things and Astral, with Astral being the upside down.
Sense.
So
that makes sense.
And we're getting this feedback again for background noise, whatever it is. So Nathan says, I think too many pilots blew the whistle on things they've seen. But the thing is, with the military, if you blow the whistle, you can kiss your career goodbye. That's why even the Army pilots, if they saw something, they wouldn't report it. And I can guarantee even today, they won't report it. For that simple fact. Yeah, when my commander found out I was a UFO investigator, I got ridiculed. I got, oh my God, you're one of those nutcases. Imagine being an officer and coming out saying the same thing.
Yeah, I've been told so often by people, you shouldn't talk about things like that because it'll make you feel, it'll make people think you're weird. And I'm looking at them going like, well, I am, so they may as well get all used to
it. Right.
That's what I was about to say. Why do you suppose that it's so bad, being like branded weird, I guess you could say?
Well, it's like somebody gave me a bumper sticker one day that says, "I don't suffer from insanity. I enjoy every minute of it."
Right.
But no, unfortunately, even in this industry, you report a UFO to somebody, and it's certainly not with you guys, but I've seen so many people that report it to other people, and the other so-called investigators go, "No, it's just your imagination." They don't even bother going and checking. Of course, they wouldn't know it if they tripped over it anyway, but that's beside the point.
That's true.
And the sad part is, I listen to some of the people in this industry claiming to be experts at it, and yet having absolutely no functional answer to questions that they're asked. And my personal opinion, I'm curious what you guys think the difference is, what you feel about people that come right out and go, "Oh, I'm an expert in such and such." How much credence do you put behind it?
So in the paranormal field, I don't think there are any experts. I think the only ones that can claim to be experts are the ones that have a master's degree. Doctors, lawyers. They're experts in their field. They're experts based on their degree. With a bachelor's in Homeland Security, am I an expert in Homeland Security? No, I'm not. Not by any means. But I think if you're talking lawyers, I think if you judges, doctors.
Actually, I'm referring to the UFO community more specifically.
I don't think there's any experts in the UFO community.
I didn't ask if you did. I asked what you think of people that claim they're an expert.
I think they're narcissists. I think they're egotistical. I think they're working on a book.
Well, the ironic part is, people keep asking, I know you guys talk about you being an expert in, and I keep telling people, yourselves included, I have never considered myself an expert.
Right. No, I agree with you. I think if you're going to call yourself, and you see it often in all aspects of the paranormal community, not just UFO researchers or Bigfoot researchers or any of them. The minute they say expert, they've lost all credibility with me.
Well, curiosity, do any of you remember what the definition from the 70s of an expert was?
No, go ahead.
An unknown drip under pressure. The sad part is, and I always get frustrated with people when they go, "I'm an expert," and then you ask them a question, and they stand there looking at you dumbfounded.
Right. And, we've even gotten ridiculed for saying specialist. Well, there's no difference between a specialist and an expert. Yeah, there is. An expert should know everything there is to know about that particular field. Where we use the term specialist because a specialist specializes in their particular area, but they're still learning, and they know they're still learning. They'll never say they know it all. That's the difference.
Well, I don't think anybody can say they know it all in the paranormal field.
Oh, that's insane. You just said
it. Exactly. That's why it's the paranormal. It's outside the normal range.
The unfortunate part is, the moment somebody says they know it all, they stop learning.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What do we do? Lose total communication now?
No.
Can anyone hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Yes.
All right, Cole, you back?
Kinda, I think.
Okay. You kind of disappeared there for a minute. So while I've got you, based on native lore, did you ever learn anything about the Wendigo or the Skinwalker?
Say that again?
You mean based off of my own knowledge?
Yeah.
Honestly, no, because the Wendigo was not Northern America thing, like the northern part of the Americas.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't part of our lore that we learned a lot about.
I'm getting nothing again.
Hello?
No, I can hear you.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Friend, so yeah, it wasn't a lot of what I learned about myself.
Okay.
Skinwalkers, again, not really. There was a lot about Bigfoot, but that'd be about it. 90% of what we learned in school and in through talking to some of the elders that we knew was mostly just about the traditions and the hunt.
Okay.
It's all about the buffalo.
Okay, so real quick, Trip is in the chat room. He can hear everybody. And I'm watching.
Hey, Trip.
I'm also watching my output, and everybody is going through on output. So the lack of audio is on your ends. And it's probably a Skype issue.
No, most of mine was my $150 headset is dead.
Was it causing the background noise?
I don't think so, because once it cleared up, I still couldn't hear anything.
Okay. Okay. Or
I just wanted to mention one more thing about the Wendigos.
yeah.
One thing that I learned from my family friend Lou, who's a Cherokee storyteller, is that according to their legends, Wendigos were originally hunters that got lost and ended up having to turn to cannibalism to survive and turned into horrendous creatures.
Is that the Wendigo or the Skinwalker?
That was the Wendigo.
Okay. Yeah, because I know there's a difference. You know, you got Skinwalker Ranch, and I think it's Utah. And what tribes do we have in Utah? Does anybody know?
I don't know. I'd have to look that up.
Okay.
Yeah, I honestly don't know.
Because if it's a specific Skinwalker Ranch, I mean, and obviously they have UFO, they have alien, they have Skinwalkers, they have the whole gamut. But, you know, and I also read a report, like Joe says, okay, the Utes, UT. Native Americans don't talk about the Wendigo. They're not allowed to say the name. Because if they say the name, in legend, the Wendigo will come and kill you if you're in the woods. And there was I can't remember if it was a YouTube video or a book I was reading, but there was a man took his son hunting on a reservation, and they're native, and he said the name Wendigo and everybody kind of freaked out, and they went anyway. They were warned by the shaman, don't go. But they, you know, he took his boy and he went in the woods. And that night, a Wendigo came, but they lit a fire, and they kept the bonfire going all night long. As long as the flame was bright, the Wendigo could not get near him. And once it was daylight, they booked it out of the woods. But according to some native lore, you don't say the name of the Wendigo, or it'll come for you. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah.
So you mean like their personal name or just the name Wendigo?
You don't say Wendigo.
Well, that sounds like another Bloody Mary thingy.
Don't say Wendigo 5 times in a row and look in the mirror. Yeah, no.
Well, patting your head and rubbing your belly.
Right, and jumping up and down on one foot.
Is Keith still here?
I'm here. I'm just only getting about a third of what's being said is all.
Okay. So I would check.
Sadly, I'm not hearing a lot of what's being said.
So that would be your audio on your end. I would check connections. Okay, so Nathan is saying in the chat room, the Navajo believe the more you think and learn about skinwalkers, the more interested they are in you. That is actually common with a lot of different paranormal aspects. Maybe not the alien or the off-world. They have their specific people they go for, and that's it. So with some of the malevolent entities, I would say it's the same thing. The more energy you put into them, the more they're going to look at you.
Sounds like a government agency.
It does. And the more you talk about them, the more they're going to start bugging your phone. So Tripp says, sounds more like an ancient hunter was killed in a hunt and upset that no one came to help him.
That would upset me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would definitely upset me as well.
If you're already dead, what are they going to do?
All right, so Don.
Hey, at least they could give you a proper burial.
Right? So Don, you still with us?
Yeah, I am.
What do you got for a question?
It's mainly, what do you guys think about the Ancient Aliens show on a History Channel?
I don't watch it.
I mean, you don't watch it?
No, I don't. There's only so much you can learn. There really is. And a lot of what they talk about, you can read about from Zechariah Sitchin, for example. Get the Earth Chronicles. And there's a lot of the same information. But no, I liked UFO Hunters when it was out. They got threatened. They had to shut down. And I liked Hangar 1. And that was straight from the UFO, from the MUFON journals. Those were the two shows that I actually liked. But
Brent and I watch Ancient Aliens, and I really liked it. There was a lot of good information that came out of there. I think it's very real. It gives me a sense that they researched, and I mean, they come up with things like the ancient pyramids. They feel that the aliens helped build those, and things like that. I like the information, Don, on that show.
Okay, cool.
Are you just starting to watch it?
Not really. I've been watching it, but the later seasons talk about a lot about the government and whether or not they're going to disclose the information that they have about the extraterrestrials that are living among us and everything else like that. So,
they are living among us. We know that. You know what's funny? And going back to where we were talking about experts. Everyone wants to be an expert because everyone wants to be the first one to have groundbreaking information. Everyone wants to get that first Bigfoot body so they can say, look, I got it. I'm going to be a millionaire now because Bigfoot's real. Everyone wants to be the first one to, prove UFOs are actually alien craft. And
not to cut you off there.
Huh?
Sorry, not to cut you off, but I wouldn't care if I was the first one or the 1000th one or anything, but I would just like to see a Bigfoot.
Well, yeah, I agree. But
agreed.
That's what's aggravating is everybody wants to be that first one. And that's where FMP is different. We're here for the client getting their peace of mind back home, back in their home. We're not here for the evidence. Huh?
Sorry, I didn't mean to throw you off track, but
no, you're fine.
Throw that out there.
You're absolutely right. And who's typing?
Either one of us.
I know it's not me because I got a mesh keyboard.
I think it was Keith.
Yeah. I'm only getting about maybe 25% of what you guys are saying across the board.
Okay. Let's see here. So when we go back to break, we're going to go ahead and drop Keith and try to call him back in.
I've done that 6 times trying to kick this back in. It ain't working.
Okay.
Hey, maybe the 7 times charm.
Yeah, that's what I tried when I died. Didn't work out that well for me then either.
Okay, so Matthew's got a question. What's everyone think about the creature that was spotted on the security camera that looks like the Harry Potter creature?
Oh, the one that looks like Dobby. I heard about that.
There was a creature that looked like Dobby?
Yeah.
I think it's an alien.
No, I would say more Fae. And, that brings a perfect opportunity. So next week we're actually going to be talking about Fae. So that'll give me a chance to really quick look at that particular video and give you a better analysis of it. Send me a link or throw a link up in the chat room. But yeah, next week we're talking Midsummer, what it means, and how the Fae and why the Fae are related to June. And Tripp is saying it's photoshopped. So there are creatures that look like Dobby. And they're part of the Fae realm.
Yeah, whichever one it is.
Right. I think Dobby. But yeah, they are basically house elves. and Joe thinks it's a kid with underwear on his head, wearing flip-flops and acting weird. Oh, Joe. And they didn't use a pointy stick. Where was the pointy stick? All right, so Chris, do you have another question?
I just kind of drew a blank. Okay, I got a question for Keith, if he can hear me. Keith, can you hear me? Okay, maybe not.
Let's see.
I guess I won't ask that one.
Keith dropped out.
Okay.
Nope.
And he says, Happy Father's Day to everyone. Happy Father's Day to you, Keith.
Yeah.
Go on to Cole. It's Cole's turn for a question.
Okay, Cole, what's your question?
Okay. I'm going to bring up an oldie but a goodie.
Okay.
So we always talk about disclosure. why do you think everyone concentrates on disclosure coming so much from government agencies and humans in general?
That's a good question. You and I were just talking about that the other day. And that's the question I've got too, is why does it have to come from the United States? You've got the UK that came out and has actually shown their UFO files. You've got a lot of European countries. You've got, I think it was Brazil. All these countries have actually come out and disclosed their UFO files. Even Canada with some of them. Why can't the United States? I think we have a lot more to hide. I think there's a lot more, writing on the fact that they don't want to release or let go of fossil fuels because there's too many billionaires and corporations that make money off it. And by disclosing UFOs, there's a lot of free energy that comes out of it. I think that's one aspect. On the abduction side, the U.S. government made contracts with different alien races to abduct humans. So, again, they don't want to admit that. And you're going to have a lot of really mad people if they find out the U.S. government just threw them under the bus. Makes sense?
At the very least, they'd have to pay a lot of reparation money to said families.
And I would agree. What do you think, Cole? You think that makes sense?
Yes, but okay, to pay reparation money to the families, then you got to prove that your family member was taken by aliens.
Well, if the government came out and disclosed, then they would know. Would be my point.
I don't think we'd get full disclosure from the government at any point.
I don't either. I think, honestly, the Navy coming out and saying we're going to start investigating UFO reports was kind of a Band-Aid for the ones that, disclosure's coming. No, it's really not.
Well, and even Trump said with that he still doesn't actually believe that they exist.
Yet he created the Space Force. But wait, that was to go handle space junk.
So they're glorified garbage men?
Basically.
Well, that's not cool. I'm not joining anymore.
But you'll be able to see space from in a spaceship.
Yeah, but if they're garbage men, they don't get lightsabers if they're not fighting aliens, okay? If we're not getting a lightsaber, I'm out.
I agree with that.
So Joe is saying the Space Force is to keep the Russians and the Chinese in line. Yeah. I don't think so. And you go back to Ronald Reagan with the Star Wars program that they're putting together, which I think is probably partially in place, if not fully.
I don't understand Trippin's comment here. Believe the opposite of what the orange says. All right, I'm only listening to apples from now on.
Oh.
Trip, what do you mean by the orange?
That's Trump's nickname.
That would be Oompa Loompa.
Oh, now I get it.
It's his ugly orange hair.
I could almost work for Trump. I'm so slow.
I still think of Oompa, Oompa, Boop-a-dee-doo. Anyway. So, Nathan, Mars in 2035. So, what? You're thinking we're going to be in Mars in 2035?
Is it seriously pushed? Like, is that the official announcement now that we're pushed back to 2035?
No, that's how long Trump's going to be in office.
Oh, God, no.
I hope not.
Oh. All right. So, let's see here. Brent, give us another question. This is fun.
Sure. Well, alrighty. Wrote it down just a sec. I gotta find it.
Oh, you wrote them down?
Oh, well, yeah, you kind of touched on it.
Okay.
So now to get your opinion, Coop, of the show, what does everybody else think of the show Supernatural? Because it's after joining this group and hearing more and more of the supernatural that is out there, I'm thinking, well, you know, this show is just a bunch of malarkey, you know, and it's kind of, you know, it's made up stuff. But after joining the group, I'm like, oh, wow. Okay, well, that's on Supernatural. That's on Supernatural. That's on Supernatural. That's on Supernatural. And I'm just kind of like, oh, well, so what actual facts, if you will, do they go off of on that show?
I want to get the book. I want to get that book that they have that their dad made for them.
I want
that.
I just don't see angels popping into Earth in trench coats. That's what I can't understand.
They can be in anything.
That's just because you want them to be naked, okay?
Oh, I wonder what he's put under that trench coat. Oh. Oops, I'm on the radio.
I'm not even going to go there.
Leave it to Chris.
Hey, he's a Chippendale angel.
Oh, and Joe just wants a car. I think I agree.
Oh, yeah, baby is beautiful.
Yeah.
She is a beauty.
Okay, so Samuel hasn't watched it. You've got to watch Supernatural.
Oh, yes.
I want their gun.
Well, that too.
Which one?
You remember the 6-shooter that they had that can only kill, they can kill all supernatural beings?
Oh, Samuel.
Yeah.
Samuel's good.
Yes,
Okay,
I want that. Yeah, Samuel, it's named after you. You got to watch that show.
Well, Samuel Cole. Yeah.
Well.
So in the FMP
The
group,
only real big question that I have about Supernatural is how can the angels only be killed by angel blades, yet angel blades can kill everything else?
oh, you're thinking of Lucifer,
the demonic
demon,
knife,
the demon
can't
knife,
hurt angels.
Right. Yep.
and that's a okay. So since we're talking about TV shows, I was so excited about the 4th season of Lucifer coming out. And oh my God, I was so disappointed in just the first 2 episodes. It just went off in left field.
Okay, but I gotta say, almost every show does that.
Well, they should have dropped it when it was still good.
But then people complained that they dropped it too early and they didn't finish it.
Yeah, but I was disappointed. So disappointed. I fell asleep.
I'll be
The one
honest,
thing
I've never seen Lucifer.
It's great.
Really? Nice guy. You should, awesome. Like,
And this coming from a Catholic.
me and him are tight.
Oh.
One thing about Supernatural, I was telling Brent, because he got these and I had to sit and watch through them. And he said, or I told him, I said, where do they get the money for all this? Where do they get the money for the car? Where do they get the money for the beer? Where do they get all this money? And then I'm like, oh, well, but then they're like FMP. They don't ask for money, so that's cool.
The hunters themselves. Cool.
Well, okay, but they get their money very illegally.
No, that's good on TV.
It's kind of something that they don't touch on that much because it does present them in a bad light. Like they are scamming credit cards.
Well, not to mention, you know how many times they would be in prison right now for all the fraudulent, the fake ID cards, posing as FBI agents, posing as, they do so.
They could have a lot of life sentences.
Oh yeah.
Sure. Well, they've been in prison many a time, but prison, jail, everything else, not house.
It is an interesting show though, and even with Brent, since he's been astral and does astral, he's like, I'll go, are those real things like that? And he's like, oh yeah. I can't name them off now because I'm on the extended care side, so I can't name a lot of stuff that is out there because I help people protect. I am not concentrated on what is out there. I mean, and he says a lot that, wow, this is really true. I've dealt with this kind of stuff. I've seen these kind of things. So it's kind of informative for me.
Right. Yeah. And, so Joe says, yeah, and, again, if you haven't seen Supernatural, just watch the first 3 seasons. Because after the first 3 seasons, they just, like a lot of shows, they got desperate for content, and they got stupid. Just my opinion. But,
You know what's funny to me?
Huh?
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead, sorry.
So, I'd say the first 2 to 3 seasons, they go into each episode covers a different aspect of paranormal, a specific entity. It's great. It's very well researched.
Yep.
And pretty right on.
Yeah.
And
I will say though, like if you do get hooked on it and you watch it all the way through, every season,
yep.
The two brothers are jerks.
Yep.
Like they drop their brother Adam off in hell, and they just leave him there, and he's not mentioned for like 4 freaking seasons.
Yep.
Like really?
Oh, yeah.
I like Bobby. He's funny.
And y'all are more caught up than I am. I stopped watching it. It just, it lost me. You know what I missed though is Warehouse 13.
Never saw that.
Have you yet to see that one?
Oh my God, that's another one you got to
really
watch.
have to watch that.
Yep, Warehouse 13. You got to watch.
I really would have liked to see a crossover between Warehouse 13 and the Librarians.
Yeah, because they were pretty close. They really were.
Yeah, and I think the two teams meeting up would have been an excellent show.
They would. So for those that aren't familiar with Warehouse 13, that is basically a team that goes after all the dangerous religious artifacts that could destroy the world.
And they did do a crossover episode with Eureka. If anyone remembers for Eureka.
Okay.
No.
It was a really good show, too. It's about a small town in Oregon. I think it's Oregon. Might be California. But it's right down in the border area there, and it's I can't remember the girl's name from Warehouse 13. Not the agent, but the young girl.
Ah, okay.
She goes to Eureka. The old guy goes to Eureka. Like, they all go there, and it's an excellent crossover that they do with those two shows.
And
what do you think of... Oh, go ahead.
Well, no, that's
What do you think?
Trip is right. It wasn't just religious artifacts, but it was artifacts from different cultures and whatnot. Yeah, historical artifacts. There you go. That, yeah.
Okay, Eric, here's my second question.
Okay.
What do you think of the movie War of the Worlds, and do you think it's possible?
Which one?
Tom Cruise. Was that Tom Cruise? Yeah, it was Tom Cruise.
Yeah, that was the newer one.
Crying like a little baby.
You don't think that there could be alien ships underneath the ground and could come up?
Oh, I have no doubt that there could be alien ships under the ground. But I don't. Again, I'm with Keith in that they're not going to invade. If they wanted to invade, we'd just be decimated. You wouldn't even know we were hit.
Not just that, but like we are. Any good battle strategist would tell you that they would wait till we are at our weakest, and we've been there already.
Yeah.
Quite a few times. There is quite a few times they could have done that, and they could have wiped us out without even a fight.
So Tripp's never seen it, and honestly, I would say watch the old version, watch the classic version. Don't even waste your time with Tom Cruise.
I could see, though, on the other hand, how War of the Worlds could happen. Because it may just be that they're waiting to see if we'll be useful or not. And as soon as they decide that we're not going to be useful, they decide to just wipe us out.
I mean, not so much concentrating on Tom Cruise or his acting or how they did the movie. It's the thought. Could there be alien spaceships, and could that happen? Not that it would now, but could it eventually happen?
Well, we already have USOs, which are unidentified submergible objects. So them coming out of the Earth to invade is very plausible. Is it going to happen? It may or may not. But I will say there's enough good races, not just bad, that are here to protect and defend. If that makes sense.
Yep.
And Tripp says we were more useful before TV was created. Now we're just lazy and fat. Yeah. But again, I think it depends on the race. I think it depends on the technology that they've got. Some races are still ahead of us by at least 50 years, but and then you got the more advanced races. The more advanced races are just going to drop an EMP and knock us back into the Dark Ages again. And you would never know what hit you.
Yeah.
All right, Don, do you have a question yet?
I asked one of the ancient aliens, shoot. How do we know that what we view of the paranormal is actually true? Like, how do we know what we see is true as far as entities and such like that? Because we talk about shadow people all the time, but how do we know they're really shadow people? How do we know that we are right?
So I'm
hoping that makes sense.
I'm going to answer that from our own perspective. And that's that the astral team actually goes in, can actually see and communicate with what they're dealing with or what the client's dealing with. So when it comes to, and I'll let Brent handle this a little more too, but when the team goes in, they actually see the spirits, and they actually communicate with them. And quite often, the spirits don't even know they've passed on. once they understand they've passed on, and I think you'd agree, Brent.
Yes.
Quite often they go willingly.
Yes. Yes. Quite often.
So if
the majority of
if they don't want to go willingly, then you can either force them across, which you really don't want to do, or some of our team can actually communicate with loved ones that have already crossed, and they can help encourage the spirit to cross over. So other times, if it's a malevolent entity, is when we go to astral combat. So real quick, I also want to say that we do have our next astral school already plugged in, and it's going to be July 8th. Get with Richard Benak, our astral instructor, and he will get you the pre-course materials, which helps you with meditation, helps you with some exercises you need to get familiar with before you take the course. So that'll help you understand what astral is a little more.
I want to throw something in. That was Dawn that asked the question, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That, from my perspective, doing extended care, I've been sitting in the same room with the client on the chat with me, and Brent right next to me astraling to that location, and you're saying, how do we know it's true? The way I can answer that is Brent can tell me something, and I'm not speaking with this person, I'm texting. So this person cannot hear me, the client cannot hear me, and cannot hear anything Brent's saying. And Brent can say sometimes, do they have an illness? And I type it and ask him, and then he'll say, do they have pets? And then he'll say, like one case recently, he said, ask the client if she's had any type of neck surgery. And she said, or neck pain. And she said, pain, yes. And then I said, have you had surgery? And she said, no. So Brent knew what to do, and that was called an attachment. And he does his astral thing, which honestly I don't understand. I just watch him and listen to him. And he will tell me, okay, I removed it, ask the client. And a lot of times before I can even ask, the client will come back to me and say, whoa, you did something. My pain is like a lot better, or sometimes even gone. So that's a verification right there that I know for sure that astral works, number one. And number two, there was something there. And number three, the astral, who had to be Brent, felt it, saw the energy, and got rid of it, if that answers the question.
It does. I kind of asked that in a cheeky manner, because it's like, I can see that there is proof of what we do in the processes that we actually have. So I understand what the processes are. I was just hoping to maybe dive into it, I guess.
No, but you're asking a question that a lot of people ask. How do we know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and I get asked all the time, too, how do you know astral works? Well, I don't astral, but I can tell you right now, going by the clients, if the client says it's gone, and their 3-year-old is going back in their bedroom when they haven't gone in their bedroom for 6 months, it's gone. That's all the evidence of proof I need.
And not only that, but on the extended care side, we also go back and check. We check the next day, we check a week, and then we check 2 weeks afterwards. And these clients come back and say, my life has changed. It is, I have no more of that issue.
And sometimes I will admit, as astral, I will kind of, miss something possibly, or, something happens where I overlook something, and they will say, "Oh yeah, we're having a little bit of this issue," and I will jump back in, and hopefully, majority of the time, it'll fix the problem, and it's pretty cool having that verification as another team member coming in and looking and verifying that it was actually fixed, and it's just pretty cool having that validation,
especially from that client. Yeah, yeah.
All right, so we're coming up to the top of the second hour. And when we come back, Thomas, be thinking of your next question.
I already got it.
Okay, good. So, yeah, this has been a choppy show tonight, folks, and I'm really sorry about that. We've had a lot of technical issues.
It's getting better.
They come and they go. Usually our shows run smooth. Every once in a while you have a glitchy night, and it just technology sucks sometimes. So as we're coming to the top of the next hour, I want to say that today we got a lot accomplished on the team. If you're local and you're listening and you want to join the team, by all means, we have training coming up. We don't have dates plugged in yet, but we are planning some camping trips and some missions we'll be doing in the mountains. We have a couple cases coming up that we'll be working on here locally, boots on ground. We can always use more boots on ground people, and if you've got skills, we definitely need, mediums. We need, if you think you have you're gifted in some way, we can test you, we can vet you, and get you into the team. We have bingo coming up. We're going to be planning a pancake breakfast for a fundraiser. We're going to be planning 3 divination classes in one day. Tickets will be available soon once we start getting dates locked in. Let's see, what else do we have going on, Chris? Chris Cole?
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
So, as everyone knows, tickets are available for Paracon already, so make sure you get on to fmparacon.com and get your tickets now. We've got our VIP packages available, which are just awesome this year. Come with everything but the kitchen sink. Sorry, we're not giving that to you.
No.
I just wanted to add it. Just wanted to add there.
Yeah.
That I've seen a couple posts on, somebody says, I'd like to join the team, but unfortunately I'm not local. For astral and extended care, you don't have to be local to be on the team.
Oh, exactly. And some things I'm considering, we have teams that are out of state, out of country, and we do work with other teams. We do need boots on ground, in other countries. We have Australia covered. We have India covered. We need people in Europe, in the UK, in Germany. But you have to, and this is where we lose a lot of them, is we have protocols and we have high standards. We don't charge people when we handle cases. We have certain standards and protocols that we go by. If you can't fit that standard or protocol, then you're not going to be a part of our network. So if you're interested, jump into the FMP group, contact me directly. And on that note, we're going to break.
You are listening to S4 on Spreaker.com.
Come get spooked at the 4th Annual Forest Moon Paracon in Cedar Woolley, Washington, Saturday, September 28th. UFOs, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoot. Speakers include Mike Morin and Jason Jordan, R. Keith Andrews, and Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio, and so much more. There will be workshops and a VIP roundtable. Get early bird tickets now at fmparacon.com.
Well, hello there. Us here at S4 would like to remind you out there that the UFOI team weekly meetings are broadcast live on Facebook from Denny's, where America eats, each Monday night, 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time at UFOI Team on Facebook. The UFOI team's gear, product store, and newsletter are located on their website at ufoiteam.com. To contact the UFOI team with your sightings report or a paranormal story, send an email to the UFOI team at gmail.com. Keep looking up and tell us your story.
Forest Moon Paranormal is a non-for-profit emergency response team that handles all aspects of the paranormal, helping you, your family, friends, and community since 2004. Whether you're having a problem with hauntings, spirits, Bigfoot, other types of cryptids, or UFO activity. Maybe you're just unsure of what's bothering or terrifying you. Or maybe you're just afraid of criticism and disbelief. FMP is here for you. We handle cases globally and locally from our headquarters in Skagit County, Washington. We never accept any form of payment for our services and are 100% confidential. You can find us on Facebook under Forest Moon Paranormal. You can private message us for assistance, or just come join in the discussion and become part of our growing FMP community.
Hello, my name's Cole Wegleitner with Statement of Sound DJ Productions. We do mixing, monitoring, recording, and editing for all your audio needs. For our local listeners in the Skagit area, we are taking bookings for your 2019 events and parties. We have a wide array of music from any genre. Please allow us to help you make these memories last forever. Contact us at 360-999-2830 or on Facebook at www.facebook.com/SOSDJPro. Join us on September 28th at the Cedro Woolley Community Center for 2019 Forest Moon Paranormal Paracon. VIP All Access passes on sale now at fmparacon.com. Your pass includes all-day admission to see the speakers and workshops, the Ghost Walk, a special VIP workshop, a special roundtable with the speakers, a Paracon t-shirt, and an FMP Paracon swag bag. These tickets can be purchased from fmparacon.com. Get yours today.
Hey everyone, Cole here with S4 Paranormal Radio, the official voice of Forest Moon Paranormal. Looking for a way to get the word out there about your business, group, team, or product? Let us help you. A few clicks is all it takes to get started at s-4radio.com, or you can contact me at 360-999-2830.
Welcome back to S4 with your host, Eric Cooper.
All right, welcome back, folks. So, tonight is our Father's Day special roundtable. Call in. If you want to call in, call 360-610-2589. You'll be talking to Brent, and he'll get your question and get you into the show. And you can find the archives or Spreaker site on the S4 YouTube channel for all the shows you missed in the last 3 years. And anyway, back to the show. And we are doing our S4 anniversary show for our 3-year anniversary on July 6th. It's going to be an awesome show. And once we figure out this call-in thing, we'll figure out how to get people called into the show, and we'll have a call-in show and some special guests. So let's see. Who hasn't asked a question? Cole, what
You're
is
going to
your
have
second...
me ask a question before the break.
Yeah. Ask your second question.
What do people think of thought forms? Are they real?
So, Slender Man. Thought form. So, originally, Slender Man was created to scare people. And I believe it was back in the 90s that there's a group of gamers or internet. I can't remember who started Slender Man. It's escaping me. But basically, they created this. And yeah, Joe says Tulpa. Same thing, though. The more energy you put into something, the more life it takes. So, Slender Man, for example, because he's a perfect example of a thought form, is all these people jumped on the internet and they saw this creature that these guys created, and he's terrifying. He kidnaps kids. He kills people. He's always hiding in the woods. He's, 10 foot tall, has no face, wears a suit. And the more people, they made movies based off it, and I think he's in video games. And the more people...
Yeah, there's
the more people watch
video games
this...
I can think of.
Yeah. The more people watched it, the more fear got fed into it.
How long ago was this?
Huh?
How long ago was this?
So this was back in the 90s, but I was supposed to be in a movie about Slender Man, and part of... And yeah, so I'm watching the chat, and it's a really good point. Why Slender Man and not Mike Myers or Jason or even Freddy Krueger? I think it's your intent. And I think those, the guys that created Slender Man, for example, created him as a tulpa. So basically, they put their energy into creating the tulpa, or the thought form, versus, just some writers and directors for a movie that made Mike Myers, Jason, or Freddy Krueger. I think that's your difference. But currently, Slender Man was created, I believe, like I said, in the 90s. But then he made an appearance when, I can't remember when that court case came up, where the little girls stabbed their friend and said Slender Man made him do it. Do you guys remember that? That was, I think, 2014, 2015, maybe?
Yeah. Yeah. Something like that.
And Slender Man's hasn't really gone away. You'll find kind of like a pattern. They'll come back every 3-4 years.
Yeah.
Say again?
The first appearance of Slenderman was June 10th of 2009.
Yeah, okay.
Was it about the same time as Supernatural's Thin Man, I think it was, that episode?
I don't remember that episode.
I don't remember if that was what it was called, but it was something to do with the... it was these two guys that posed as like a quote-unquote Slender Man, or one of them, I guess you could say, but the other one was to lead them to him, I think it was, if I remember right.
And, you know, Samuel says Slenderman is fake. I agree. But I do believe he's a thought form. Is he really a 9-foot tall guy that's running around our woods physically? No. I think he's an energy form. Again, I think the more people put their energy into it, the more life it takes. It won't be physical per se, but it can still become entity, essentially. So, an example of a thought form, or how you put energy into something that makes it real, would be Iraq. So in Iraq, we got tired of being shot at and being attacked and whatnot. And running a pagan group, we went online and we put out the word that on a specific date, at a specific time, we wanted everybody to push peace, no shooting, basically. And we coordinated it. And we sent someone to all four corners of our base. And at that specific time, specific date, we had thousands of people that were all doing this. There was not a shot fired. There was no mortars. There was nothing that entire day. And then it went right back to the normal. Now, was that a coincidence? I don't think so. But that's an example of how humans can put all their energy together. But it takes too much energy. There's no way in hell you could continue that over and over again. And good night, Samuel. So Samuel's going to bed. It's 4 a.m. And, you know, that's what sucks about the hour that we're on, but we still get awesome listeners like you guys that listen to the show until 2 a.m., 5 a.m. And let's see. But that's an example of how multiple energies can be used to create something, whether it's peace or whether it's a creature. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I'm calling.
Why are you calling people?
No, I'm calling Thomas back in.
Oh.
I'm calling the president. Anyway.
Okay.
You don't want to do that, trust me.
No,
it's too
not
late
really.
for that much stupid.
Not really. So Disney and Floyd's flying elephants is tripping. So explain Disney and Floyd's flying elephant.
Is he talking about Dumbo?
I reckon. Oh. So Cole,
Yes.
What did you ask for Father's Day?
Peace. Not
What?
like across Earth, but just in my own home.
Oh, you did ask for peace on Earth?
That's
Oh.
a little bit much to ask from a couple of young teenagers.
Okay, I got you.
You know? No, I don't ask them for anything. To me, it's not about that. I'm going to spend a bunch of time with them, and we're going to do something together that's not chores, that's not work. Something fun.
Right.
You know?
Right.
It's not something that has to cost money, just even I think we might go out back and throw the football around for a while.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, I know the kids made me something in school. And, that means more to me than running out and buying me something. At the ages of 7 and 8, getting art or pictures or things like that is, stuff I can put on the wall.
Unless they bought me, like, let's say a 69 Cobra. I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, you'd be you'd be fine with a ratchet. What are you talking about?
That's true.
Oh. All right. And so Tripp says, we'll talk about Thought Forms Disney, 2 types of flying elephants and Floyd's flying elephants, just thinking out loud.
What's Floyd's flying elephants? I don't know about that.
I don't know. I think he's talking about the government listening to the show.
But we have a local pot shop. It's called Floyd's.
Yeah.
And they might have a type of weed that's called flying elephants.
I'm sure they do, because, they have Bigfoot. They have Sasquatch weed, so yeah. Yeah. And Tripp says pictures are better than detention slips. So my kids don't get detention slips. They don't. I don't even think they have detention like we used to have when I was a kid.
We get a phone call when they get detention.
Right. I don't get phone calls either, other than when my kids get stung by a bee or something.
Oh, Pink Floyd. Okay, now you're making sense.
Okay. I got you. I'm sorry, Tripp. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. We had a long day today. Go watch our Facebook Live on the group. You'll see. We need to do, as a team, more Facebook Lives. I know our group members like seeing the team. And let's talk about that for a second. So there's 12,000 people in FMP's group. And I think a lot of people don't understand, because, you have 10,000 different paranormal groups. And a lot of them are just, oh, look, the government found a UFO. Or, oh, look, Zach Baggins burned his house down because there was demons in it. Or, oh, look, it's nothing but paranormal news. And when people ask for help, we have a team in FMP that handles those cases, handles those problems. It's, a lot of the groups out there, they don't have a specific team that handles cases. We do. That's what the group is geared for. So, and let me go up real quick. So, Joe needs to post his question again. And I lost my train of thought. Anyway, yes, we need to do more Facebook Lives as a team, I think. You guys agree?
Yes.
Sure.
People like interaction. We can throw a standard, post up. We can, y'all saw FMP explode last night with activity. And that's because we interacted there. We asked questions. People want interaction, not just a random news story.
Well, we will be doing a lot more Facebook Lives, and we will also be posting a lot more to our Twitter page at S4 Paranormal.
Indeed. I think we'll do a Facebook Live at all the events and all the trainings we do if we have a hotspot or Wi-Fi, which may be possible with cell phones.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on where we are in the mountains. So Joe,
even if we
got
can't
good
do it,
signal
even if-
wherever we are. I can turn on my hotspot.
even
No,
if
there
we
you
can't
go.
do it live, we will still take videos, and we'll make sure to share those as soon as we get back.
That's true too. So Joe says, could there be regular Bigfoot that are flesh and blood in the woods? And also Topo Bigfoot that are thought forms that people see and described as they're interdimensional that disappear. And that's always a possibility. Everybody's thinking Bigfoot. You know, anything's possible. Nobody knows for fact. Although I did see, and I haven't even looked at it yet, it came through my... So I get 150 emails a day from Homeland Security News, Cybersecurity News, Law Enforcement, Fire Department News. And I was kind of surprised, but through one of my news sources, I can't remember who it was, I think it was the FBI, came out and said they've been investigating Bigfoot. I haven't read it yet. And once I read it, I'll post it in the group. But why? So here's a question for you. Why would the FBI care if Bigfoot is real or not? Anybody have an idea?
Well, I'm not sure if that's the group, but one of the government groups came out and said they actually had hair sample and had that tested, and the results came back that it wasn't from anything on Earth. So are they finally coming out and admitting that they've been researching and searching for Bigfoot? That's the question.
And, you know, yeah, I've heard the same from the BFRO, which is a Bigfoot research organization. They came out and said they've actually found hair and they tested it. It was found unknown. And that's what's going to happen. They're going to come out, and that's how you know you have a Bigfoot. It comes back unknown. The more unknowns you have, the more probability of proof of a Bigfoot.
I wonder if people say, why isn't the government searching this? And why isn't the government looking for this? And if people have been doing that, maybe that's a reason that they're finally coming out with it. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if people question the government about them needing to verify Bigfoot or not, because they would figure that the government would have the resources to do it. Maybe that's an idea.
They would, but and I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'd rather the government be more worried about terrorist attacks and keeping the country safe from humans than wasting their time and resources looking for Bigfoot when we have Bigfoot researchers doing the same thing. Just my thought on it. And so, Nathan, in answer to the question, no, we have not investigated Devil's Tower. I've been up there a couple times before they made it completely blocked off in private property. You don't want any paranormal team that goes up there now is going to discredit and completely disrespect this field for going up there because, well, don't break the law on an investigation. But is it full of evil stuff? No. So there have been a couple of deaths up there. There have been some odd, I've heard a couple stories where there was I guess, for lack of a better term, hellhounds, possibly, Bigfoot type creatures seen up there. But no. I think you have more kids going up there partying, and there's been other situations up there that are unsavory. But no, we haven't gone up there and done any full-out investigation.
And I can answer from being there physically. I actually just jumped back as soon as that question was asked. I jumped back when I was physically there. And looking back, I didn't catch anything actually really active there, so I think there's a lot of folklore there.
Yeah, there is. So have I seen the SJ and Russ Wells video on YouTube? No, I have not. It was actually SJ and Russ that told me about their experience they did have up there, and that was being followed by a Bigfoot type creature down the embankment. But no, I don't have time to watch everybody's YouTube videos. Between FMP, between the upriver group that we run, between school and, well, yeah, we just have a lot on our plate as far as watching other people's shows. Certain shows I do watch or listen to, but no, haven't seen their video.
I didn't look for anything for his cryptids, but as far as spiritually, no, I didn't get anything passed on.
Right. And, you know, you do have people that come out and say, oh, there's demons up there. No, there's not demons. Other stuff, yes. Spirits, yes. I would agree. Because I believe there were 2 different deaths up in that area. So, are there spirits? Probably. Concrete is one of the most haunted towns in Skagit County. That's hands down. And that's because, one, the town was built on a crystal quarry, which is an energy magnifier. And 2, because of the history of the town. It burned down at one point in the 1900s. You got logging. You got logging accidents. And it goes back before concrete with the gold rush. So, a lot of history up in these mountains. All right, so...
I'm just saying, I didn't mean to burn down the town.
That's okay. It's okay. It was an accident.
I know. Like, I wasn't even born yet. I don't know how they can blame me over that. Not fair.
All right, Cole. What's your second question?
Well, so last week we had what some people are calling a major news story. The U.S. Navy is now seriously taking a look at UFO reports by Navy pilots.
Mm-hmm.
We have a president who is saying that he does not believe, even though his own Navy is looking into these, that they exist. He is the first president in a long time to admit that there is no possibility. Do you guys think that it's a possibility maybe the president has zero information?
You don't.
I mean, as a person, like I mean, like every president out there has not had any actual information about this subject. They're just speculating like the rest of us, and it's handled by some other government agency that they don't talk to the president about this.
I think the president is a puppet. I think the president is only being told what they want him to say. So does he know anything? Probably not.
I think honestly, in the beginning, this information was handled by the president, but over time, whoever is really controlling the information now, decided that the president didn't need to know, so just stopped informing the presidents that came after the original one, and so now it just tells them what to
say. and you know what? Tripp sums it up nicely. Would you tell the man anything is top secret? I wouldn't.
No, he probably couldn't keep it a secret with how much he's on Twitter.
Oh, can you imagine that tweet? Oh my God, guys, there really are aliens. Yeah, no. So, no. Again, I think some presidents, if they're trustworthy, I think they are told some things. You know, Jimmy Carter had his own UFO experience. Of course, Reagan. Oh my God, Reagan went before the UN Council and all but said, you know, if there was an alien invasion, it would pull the planet together. I think he was basically saying a cryptic message. I believe it was Reagan that Steven Spielberg went and showed E.T. to, wasn't it?
Sorry?
Wasn't it Reagan that Spielberg went and showed E.T. to and said that's really how they are?
I've never
I honestly don't know.
I think it was. It was one of the presidents. Cool. Yeah, you'd have to look it up. Put down Spielberg in the White House, and I can guarantee you it'll bring the story up.
Reagan would be the right time.
Yeah. And Joe says, what the hell do you want him to say? Say that UFOs exist because some idiot reporter asked him? No, actually, Joe, he would call it fake news anyway.
I wouldn't want him to do that, but like you'd expect him to do the same thing that every other president has done. Give off a little bit that says it's a possibility, but we have no idea. That's what every other president has done, and I would expect him to do the same, to keep with the same rhetoric, but not fully admit because they can't.
Has any of his rhetoric been anywhere similar to any of the other presidents, though?
Well, maybe Reagan's second term when he had Alzheimer's.
So yeah, Tripp says if he knew he'd spill the beans to be the first one to say something, he always got to be number one. And yeah, let's not make this political. Yeah. Let's see here. Don, do you have another question? Oh, Don, where'd you go?
Donnie boy.
Donnie boy.
This has just been a bad night for technology. So, Chris, you're always great with questions.
So let's talk a little bit about pets, dogs, cats, in the paranormal. How do you think they sense things faster than humans?
Okay, say that again.
Animals sense spirits faster than humans.
Yes.
Why is that?
Because they can see in the fourth dimension.
How is that?
That's a good question. Basically,
Is
they're
it just
more.
the makeup of their eyes, the way their eyes are, because they're so different?
I would say all their senses, because their noses are more sensitive, their eyes, their ears, all their senses are heightened more than humans. Just like animals can predict earthquakes much faster, they can tell you when an earthquake's coming.
And you've got the dogs that can tell when somebody's going to have an epileptic attack.
Exactly.
They sense the chemistry.
I think it's chemistry, and I think it's energy.
Energy. Yeah.
And yes, Nathan, so animals can detect natural disasters before, like earthquakes, even when you're looking at volcanoes, any kind, because again, they can pick up the rumbling, they can pick up the vibrations, they can pick up the shifting much faster than we can, obviously.
I wonder if they could pick up, like, heat sensations. How do those cadaver dogs find humans under rubble? Is it heat?
No,
or
I would say that's smell.
Is it even covered in dirt? Completely covered?
I would still say that's smell, just because of the sensitivity of their nose. Just my thoughts.
Yeah.
Their noses are more susceptible, more sensitive.
Say again?
Their noses are more sensitive to, way more sensitive, but you can also train them to be more sensitive in certain odors, I guess you can say.
Yeah, and Kayla brings up a good point. There has to be a reason cats were thought of as the guardians of the underworld. Look at Bastet.
Yeah. Well, hounds have to come from somewhere.
Oh, they were considered magical to begin with, which is why oftentimes cats were burned with witches. They're seen as familiars.
Well, and they were, way back in the Egyptian, they were guardians, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cats were. Yeah. Okay, that was my question.
Okay.
Trip, do you mean that they have animals that can find thumb drives? Because that's cool.
I want one.
Yeah.
Oh. So the Navy hasn't
Because
said
think
they're...
about it, anything you touch, you leave a lingering scent on it. So it'd only be logical that they could find a thumb drive.
And that makes sense too. So Tripp is saying Navy hasn't said they're investigating UFOs, just admitted they actually have a form to fill out for sightings. Activity, encounter of UFOs or other countries, new jet design classify as UFO.
Okay, and that's my mistake. I haven't had a chance to actually read the article. I just saw the clickbait ad, or the clickbait title.
Right.
So that is possible for
Eric, I think it's your turn to pick a question for discussion.
Give me a minute.
Yeah, how come you haven't asked a question?
No, you don't give us minutes.
I do. I gave Dawn a minute. Thomas, what's another question?
Oh,
okay. Kind of a lateral question to Chris's, but why can young children sense or see spirits before other people can?
So children are more open. basically, as you grow up, you get closed off, and I think society plays a big role in that as well.
But Eric, doesn't that go back to the show that we had, I don't know, a couple months ago about some kids, how do you say it? Like, I know people that have had kids, and the kids have actually, their heartbeat stopped when they were born, and those kids are really, really gifted. So whatever that did at that particular time, those kids are really gifted. And so that's another reason why.
And also, in my understanding, is even if that didn't occur, if the child has had concussions growing up, and in my case, actually, I've had a few concussions, and I've actually been more susceptible, I guess you could say, to
head injury.
Oh, yes, sorry.
Head injury
Feelings, and more able to connect with the opposite.
Like it awakens the senses with head injury.
Yes.
I think it has to do, too, with the connection of the brain waves, how the left and right communicate.
Okay.
And the chemistry. So Nathan says, does the fact that children are more impressionable go into play? And, I'd have to say yes.
Yeah.
You look at, so Cole's kids and my kids could tell you anything you want to know about spirits, Bigfoot, and aliens because of what we do. And, so Anthony came home from school and said there were kids that were mocking him because Bigfoot's not real. Well, those kids are closed off.
Yep.
My kids are more open to it because of what we do in FMP. They've been...
the parents.
Exactly. They've been immersed in the paranormal since birth.
Yep.
To the point where Anthony was in preschool. And when he graduated from preschool in Cedar Woolley, he was given a certificate for being Mr. Google. And his teacher said, you can ask Anthony anything you want to know about ghosts, and he can answer you.
Right on.
So, does impression have anything to do with it? I think so.
Oh, yes.
That would be my answer on that one. And I think you could probably go to any paranormal team that has kids, and they would, unless they keep their kids completely shut off from what they do. I haven't been asked to go to school yet to talk about career day.
I don't understand how. You're right. You ask my kids about the paranormal, they can pretty much answer about anything.
Yep.
You ask my kids to take out the garbage, they'll be like, "What garbage?"
Right.
Being an outsider, who I personally have never had kids, I can say that it could also be because they're more innocent and more accepting and willing, I guess you could say, to the unknown and unbelievable by adults. Because as adults, we have become, I guess you could say, judgmental of anything that kids could hear because they're more innocent.
Well, that's what they're saying. The kids are they experience it, and if the parents don't continue and say, "Oh, really? What did you see or what did you hear?" then if the parents do that, the child will grow up knowing that, okay, paranormal is a normal thing. But many parents are like, oh my God, where's the nearest psychiatrist? I'm taking you in. You know?
I'm going to throw something else out there too, though, because it has to do with parenting, but it doesn't. So when I grew up, I was pretty much told there's no such thing as UFOs. There's no such thing as spirits. Everything is a demon. And that was drilled in my head because I was raised as somebody of God. I didn't really believe it, though.
I'm glad you didn't turn out like Zach Baggins.
I didn't believe it, though. But at the same time, I wasn't interested in UFOs. I could care less. I wasn't interested in Bigfoot. I could care less. Was there a Bigfoot? Maybe. But it wasn't my interest. UFOs, they weren't my interest. But I didn't think they were demons either. So I think it depends on the kid. You know, I can sit and tell the kids, yes, there's Bigfoot. Doesn't mean they're going to believe me. But they've seen the tracks. They've seen the evidence. They've seen the equipment we use. I think there's more to it than just telling them, but you show them too. And, you know, the kids have met the team. They know what we do, and they know we take it seriously. I think that's the difference. Not just a matter of telling them, but showing them.
I can't see the chat room. Is Trip still in the chat room?
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
So I have a question for Trip. Wouldn't it be fun to have Zach Bagans on this station so we could rip him apart? I want to see what Trip's response is.
So, Eric, I believe you have her mute button.
Oh.
What'd he say? What'd he say?
He hasn't said nothing yet.
Don't worry, I agree with her. It would be fun to do that.
Thank you. See, somebody's on my side.
Oh. No, what Tripp says, he's seen more evidence of Bigfoot than Santa. I disagree. You haven't seen the NORAD
Trip,
Santa
don't
tracker?
be mean. Santa is the most real thing in this world.
You haven't seen the NORAD Santa tracker?
I know. I try to stay up every Christmas Eve, but I always seem to miss him.
I'm just saying, maybe, Trip, that means you haven't been that good this year, you know, or previous years.
Come on, Trip. I want you to answer my question.
He says pillows ain't thick enough to hold my cursing down.
Oh.
Oh. So we have about 10 minutes left of the show tonight. And what are we doing for Father's Day? If anything. So I'm going into my parents' house and we're having dinner with them. We'll see my dad. They'll probably wake up and the kids will have presents for Daddy. What are you guys doing?
I think I'm going to try to sleep in a little bit. Then I'm going to light a candle for my dad.
Yeah.
Very cool, man.
Agreed.
Since it is Father's Day already, I'll just wish you all happy Father's Day.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Trip's going.
So Trip says just blow some smoke at Zach and he'll fall over coughing.
I knew I'd get good responses out of him. You can always count on Trip.
But I'm going to take it farther. You blow smoke at Zach and he's going to run out screaming it's a demon.
Yeah, probably.
Or he might run out screaming, I don't know what the heck it is.
Either that or he's going to run out and yell, and he's got an attachment now.
Yeah. So, bringing up, so we have like 8 minutes left. I want to go back to protection for a second. Because I've been thinking about this. And Chris.
Yes.
You have been taught since you joined the team and before you knew anything about paranormal that protection was important.
Correct.
And we've taught protection over and over to where you can actually do it in your sleep.
Yes.
So when it comes to protection, the reason it's important to us, and it goes back to paganism, because as pagans, with our craft, with what we do with our belief, protection is important. When you look at a pagan ritual, it's done inside a circle for the most part, and the circle is designed for protection. With druids, they don't have a circle, but they take ale and they offer as an offering to the what they call the outdwellers, and those are the same as spirits, malevolent entities, anything that would interfere with the ritual they're doing. And I've said this before. I've said this before, that pagans don't see the paranormal. The paranormal is normal. We deal with spirits. We deal with deities. We deal with every aspect of what pagans believe. Non-pagans see as paranormal, if that makes sense. So we have to protect ourselves from the paranormal as normal.
And once you learn how to do it and what it is, which is basically using Mother Nature and natural things to help you. And for example, I have a lot of anxiety, which I'm on medication for. And as a matter of fact, today at the meeting it started in. Do you realize that all I did was grounded and shield and my anxiety left? I did a natural thing and got rid of the anxiety. I was taught to, but I didn't use medication. Right. So it's a benefit. It's a huge benefit to be able to know how to use your mind in that situation. It can help so many different things. One of the stones, for example, one of the stones that we got, which is obsidian. Did you know that if you laid on a bed with an obsidian stone on your back and you meditate, it can take care of previous, like situations that you had to deal with, trauma. You can ease your trauma mentally by using an obsidian stone. How easy is that? How cool is that by using Earth's natural stones? I mean, that's what gets me. People need to do this. And I'm not pagan. I'm Christian, and I use this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That brings me to a question here. Now, I will say I was born and raised Christian. I still follow the beliefs and all that kind of stuff. But now looking back, it's like what would one say about my pretty much continuously feeling or in some kind of way interacting with spirits?
You were open.
Or is that a topic? Because I've pretty much always felt spirits, at least.
You're open, and people from our church would think you're nuts.
Well, yeah.
Seriously, not jokingly, but it's true.
That is what Christians would kind of think, because
They're closed-minded.
I'm kind of on the fence because I was born and raised Christian. That's all I've known all my life, but I've always felt strict. So I'm kind of.
I think you can believe in a creator, whatever you want, but it certainly doesn't hurt to use the land, the rocks, the trees, nature of the creator to help you.
Yes, I've always believed in nature as well.
Trip wants to know if it's the stone or the meditation that is helping.
It's both.
The stone is powerful, and it works with the energy, and it allows, what it does is the stone works and allows you mentally to, how do I give an example? It says that, I'll hurry real fast. Let's say if you had a huge fight with somebody in your past, you lay down, meditate, put the stone on your back, you think about that, you go back there, you think about it, and if you think about that person, the stone's energy uses your energy and the stone's energy, and you actually make peace with that person. And that's how it helps ease everything. And then the stone absorbs all the negativity from that way back past conflict, is exactly how it does.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
So every stone's got its own intention and its own purpose. Its own, what's the word I'm looking for?
Its own job. Has its own job.
Essentially, yeah. Like the amethyst is geared for peace, to calm you down.
Yep.
The rose quartz we use for basically absorbing nightmares. Usually with kids, because it's a very calming stone as well. Hematite is known for grounding. Black tourmaline is used for protection and grounding and dispelling negativity. Every stone has its own properties, its own intention, and its own goal. So it's just a matter of figuring out what the intention or what the purpose of that stone is. Anyway, been a great show, been a rocky show, but it was still fun. So I want to thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you, Dawn. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, Chris and Brent.
Thank you, Trip. Thank you, Trip, for answering my question.
Thank you, Cole. And Keith. I know Keith is gone. But
have a good night, guys.
Have a good night. And next week, don't miss it. We talk about the Fae. We talk about Midsummer. And it'll be another fun show. And hopefully, Skype will cooperate. So with that, go check out the FMP and S4 store at www.s-4radio.com. Stay tuned too. We are working on a lot of different apps to get the show into. And y'all have a great week.
Facebook and Twitter.
And happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there.
Happy Father's Day, guys.
Happy Father's Day.
And thank you for listening to all our new folks in the chat room. It was always awesome seeing new faces in there. Nathan and
Samuel.
I think Samuel went to bed. But yeah, thank you, Samuel. Thank you, Nathan, for listening. Always great seeing new faces in the show. Y'all have a good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us tonight on S4, the official voice of Forest Moon Paranormal. You can contact S4 through our website at www.s-4radio.com or on Facebook. Make sure you give us a like on our page and join the Forest Moon Paranormal group. If you are interested in advertising, take a look at our packages and contact Cole or Eric at 1-360-999-2830. Again, thank you. And remember, keep your eyes to the sky.